In this chapter, we'll go over what is the value of an incremental dollar of profit. Well, it depends mightily on who we might be selling to. Here's what years of private equity experience have taught us. If you have a business for sale or just want to get an idea of what your business might be worth, consider the following. 1. A financial buyer might pay an earnings multiple of 5 to 1 or possibly 8 to 1. That means $1 million in earnings could bring $5 to $8 million in value. Buyers like us at Geneva Capital Partners were financial buyers. We viewed companies as investments to be grown and later sold. 2. A strategic buyer might pay an earnings multiple of 10 to 1 up to 16 to 1. That's because they can introduce your product or service to a much larger market, making it more valuable to them than to others. 3. A sale to a publicly traded company, meaning one that trades on a stock exchange, typically lands an earnings multiple of 12 to 1 up to 22 to 1. For example, a company with $3 in earnings per share, trading at a multiple of 12, would have a share value of $36. At a 22 multiple, that jumps to $66 per share. So, bringing in a company with $500,000 in profit and applying a 20 times multiple could lead to a $10 million valuation. And for a publicly traded company that's also a strategic buyer, that's the jackpot. The earnings multiple could be 18 to 1, even up to 30 to 1. Imagine getting paid 30 times your earnings. Dive deeper and learn more about earnings multiples in the equity section of the ratio analysis chapter from our financial accounting program. Well, it's story time again. Our hero, Mikhail, or Mike, was a mechanic who worked for a company that made various home products. This company had 3 Italian tufting machines that produced fringe for pillows, sofas, and drapes, but the machines were problematic. The feed mechanisms jammed often, bunching the yarn. The tufting patterns were lost frequently. The machines were so unreliable that the company planned to auction them off and exit the fringe business entirely. Mike saw an opportunity. He quit his job, mortgaged his home, and went to that auction. He bought all 3 machines. Then he got to work. He modified the controls on the feed mechanisms and the tufting pattern guides. With the machines running smoothly, he became the low-cost producer of fringe in the industry. Fast forward 3 years. He had $3 million in annual sales, $1 million in profit. Unfortunately, a health issue forced him to sell. Now, Mike's daughter was taking one of my accounting courses at a local state college. She introduced me to her father. I walked him through the earnings multiples we just discussed. I said, "Mike, your best deal will come from a strategic buyer who is also a public company." Our team at Geneva identified the largest competitor, a publicly traded textile company. They had 8 of the same tufting machines and headaches from every single one. They estimated that if their machines ran like Mike's, they could generate an additional $2 million per year in earnings. A condition of the deal? Mike had to fix all 8 of their machines and transfer his patents. So now, their $2 million in potential earnings plus Mike's existing $1 million equals $3 million in projected profit. At a 16 times multiple, that meant a potential valuation of $48 million. They offered Mike $25 million. $10 million in cash, $15 million in stock, and with a 1-year vesting period. A good deal for Mike, a good deal for the buyer. Today, Mike and his family live on a $6 million ranchette. He drives a Bentley. He owns 2 horses. And when people ask, software titan, real estate mogul? No, just a Yugoslavian immigrant, a mechanic, who had been in the United States for only 6 years, and who made fringe. Something to think about. Of the 4 categories of buyers, who might you sell to, and why?